All right, welcome to episode 3 of Through the Pipeline. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Ricky.
and today we're going to talk about different types of equipment for air conditioners that are good options for certain situations and what applications you have for your home. What do you got, Rick?
What do I got? So we got residential air conditioning strictly is what we're talking about, like commercial as well. You have multiple options, but 3 good options that we do want to talk today about is your conventional split system.
Yep.
Okay, do you want to talk about that or me?
You can talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so conventional split systems.
What do you mean by that? What is that?
Okay, so what do I mean is it's a ducted system in your house where you have an outdoor unit, you have an indoor unit, and you have a fan type of system, whether it's a forced air furnace or an air handler that will convey the cold air through your home.
Which is the most common system in the areas that we live in.
Yeah, so it's they're all sized based on square footage, heat loads, the amount of ductwork that you do have or existing ductwork. Now, these systems can be installed anywhere. Where can they be installed as well in a house that doesn't have air conditioning?
You can put them in attics.
Yep.
They make horizontal units with air handlers. You can also put the furnace in the attic too. Typically, they're in the basement. If you have a slab home with no basement, it could be in a closet, ducted through the attic. You can put them anywhere, really.
Mm-hmm. And they're good options for a house that has a boiler. I know over in Ohio,
with an air handler.
No. If you have a boiler and you want to add a system, this is a good option to add a system.
Yeah.
If you have the physical space, you really do need the space to run all the ductworks, and they have to be properly insulated in an attic. I know in Ohio,
for attic installs, it'd be good for boilers.
Yes, for houses with boilers.
And it's good to pull that heat off the higher floors too.
Absolutely,
the heat rises.
It's very beneficial to put them upstairs on the second floor in an attic, and
for air conditioning especially,
because most of your heat load in your home is on the second floor.
For sure.
So your first floor will always be cooler than your second floor. Even on a new construction home, we've seen this multiple times. Where
people in my neighborhood just complaining 2 days ago about how the second floor is so hot.
My second floor is so hot. So I guess on an existing customer, what can they do to kind of try to help that problem they're having? Yeah.
For somebody that has a
split system
in the basement.
Yeah. Or in the basement. Yeah.
So if they have it in the basement, I tell them to, they can leave the fan running, put it in the on position to help tumble that air and mix it. That'll help. Make sure your windows are closed and, your doors are closed and everything.
Another good solution to that little problem.
Would you do?
What I was thinking of is you can have us come in or any HVAC company and do what's called a balancing of your ductwork.
Yeah.
So what we do is we'll go through your entire house and use what's called a CFM meter. It's a little fan, and we'll measure how much air is moving through each one of your ductworks. Okay, so we'll try to force a little more to the upstairs.
Well, we're just making it even.
Yeah, more even out throughout the house, but the goal is to get a little more air upstairs without putting a lot of stress on the system, because you need all that ductwork to move X amount of coolant through the house.
They got to make sure that the beds and dirty clothes are away from the registers.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
My daughter, she'll just throw her dirty clothes over the return, and her room is significantly hotter.
Yeah, always make sure the vents are wide open at the floor, and you got good airflow. Even leaving the doors open upstairs or cracked.
I always leave them all open.
Leave them open. I think that helps out drastically.
I think so too. And then tumbling the air, you're going to get a little increase in your electric bill on your fan if you leave the fan in the on position. But
Explain that fan on position.
So if you put at your thermostat, you have 2 options for your fan. It'll say fan on or auto. So when it's in the auto position, that fan motor will only kick on when it's calling for heating or cooling. So if you leave it in the on position, it'll run continuously, mixing the air through your home and hopefully helping with uneven temperatures in your home.
That's definitely a good option.
And it helps. It really does work.
Option 2 for a residential home or light commercial, both these options are good for light commercials too, is what? What do we want to talk about next?
We can talk about Unicos.
Yes. So Unicos, a.k.a. a high-velocity system.
Yep.
There's a Unico system, and that's a brand. But how it works is it's a ducted system, but it's a high-velocity system, as in meaning it moves the air at a higher velocity through the ductwork.
Smaller ductwork, though.
Smaller
so
ductwork.
You can get in tight spaces, which like cottages, we've put them in cottages older
small
homes,
attics.
homes that have boilers.
My house has a Unico system.
Yeah.
I built my house 7 years ago, and we put in a boiler system with one of these Unico systems. And what's very
work great.
They work phenomenal.
They're awesome.
I actually think they work better than a conventional split system.
I know. If I were to build a house, I would be tempted to put a Unico in.
Yeah, absolutely. The big difference between the bigger ducted system and the Unico high velocity is you run smaller ducts, so you can.
It's a 2-inch hole.
Yeah, it's a 2-inch hole you're putting in your ceiling
Our
or floor.
our supply runs on typical
6-inch.
standard ductwork is 6-inch.
6-inch holes. So you got
Most of the time.
It's very space saving. It saves on labor for the installation too. So no matter who's installing the
easy.
system, they're really easy to install compared to your conventional systems in your attics. We kind of stay away from that, to be honest with you, only because it's a lot more labor intensive, and we kind of push our customers towards the Unicos if it's like an attic or an unconditioned space.
And it'll cool your house. I mean,
What I think is beneficial about these is the dehumidification process.
Yeah.
These units dehumidify faster and quicker than a conventional system. That's my personal opinion, and
you're going to stick to
they're
it.
I'll stick to it. But they're very good systems. They're not a low cost option.
And you could tweak them really well too.
Yes, you can tweak them, and now they have what's called like a variable speed module system where it'll ramp up and down the velocity of the air moving through there. They're very nice units. They've been around for a long time. They're just easy to install.
We put one in, and they're not just for cooling, but they have heating coils too. So we hooked one up to a Navion boiler, and the customer that I'm thinking of particularly has a air conditioning coil and then a heating coil right after that. So in the winter, that's his heat source too. So he has a boiler, but he doesn't have radiators or copper thin tube. He has a heating coil that he uses for his heat as well.
Yeah.
So it's hot air instead of the hot water hydronic.
Yeah, I actually we are quoting a job out this week for a larger home, and it requires 3 systems, actually 4 systems.
That's wild.
Including eventually. It was like 7,000 square foot home, but it was a perfect solution for this home. It had, wood panel, like wood on the walls and ceiling. It kind of reminded me of the Peak and Peak, but it was like very hard to run ductwork. And I said I wouldn't even go that route, but it's a great solution.
And you quoted him a Unico.
100%, yeah. I actually called the Unico rep just to go over design.
They work with you really well too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
They'll help
yeah.
design the whole system.
Yeah, they're easy to design. They're really not hard.
Yeah.
Where conventional systems, if you don't have enough return or proper supplies, you just get uneven temperatures. Where these, we've even put them in, and after we've installed them, we maybe get a complaint like, "Hey, this one room is like really a little warmer than another room," and it's so simple to just go back for 1 hour and add 1 or 2 extra of these ductworks into the room. It's super simple.
Actually, they have little resistors you put in them that you can still use your CFM reader.
Yeah, they're
and make sure
great solutions. So if you want more information on that, I think it's unico.com. They got a great website.
Or call us out.
Yep, and they're good for commercial applications too. Option 3 for residential, like commercial
Mini splits,
mini splits, aka ductless.
ductless units.
What's your opinion on them? Let's talk. What are they? What is a ductless?
I always
A Mitsubishi is what they always call it.
Mitsubishi.
They call them
a Fujitsu.
a Fujitsu. Yeah, those are brands, but
Yeah, I explain them. They're in between a window rocker and a split system.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have an indoor head, is what we call them, and they mount on the wall or wherever. Actually, they make different types, but typically they mount on the wall, and then you have a condenser outside, and you run refrigerant lines and a communicating wire between the two.
yeah, they're all ductless. So you have one unit inside that blows the air, conditions the air with a coil, a refrigerant coil.
Yep.
It takes the heat from inside of your home and moves it outside to the outdoor unit.
They're finicky.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
could
They
I think they have their place.
They do.
Okay. They have their place.
I lived with them.
Yeah.
When at my old house, when I had a boiler, I put four heads in with 2 condensers, and it cooled the house down.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked. I didn't have a problem with them.
I'm a
really.
little old school where when someone wants a whole house done, I would prefer that Unico system over all ductless. When you really cost analyze it, it's real similar in price. They're not low cost units. They're for a decent brand, you're going to pay a decent amount of money.
They're expensive.
Yeah,
They're expensive.
money for money. The material
Unico.
for a Unico
Or
or
split
conventional
system. Or split
split
system.
system
Yeah.
is very comparable to a ductless system. Easy installation though, but the cost of the material is up there.
They are so expensive. The material for the mini splits are just, it's crazy how high they've gotten.
I think too, like one thing that drives me absolutely insane, and I see this all over, is churches.
Yeah.
They get information from, like an HVAC company, and they go in and say, hey, we recommend ductless systems on a 14,000 square foot church.
You see,
and
like
you see
10 of them lined up.
You see like 10,
10
10 condensers outside of a building with all these pipes going up in this beautiful churches. And I'm like, it just drives me nuts. It's like, I know what they have in the cost for that. And they have basements, most of them, that they could have put a ducted or a Unico system in there. That would work phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, your limitation on sizes. Even then, at that point, that's a commercial level job that really
requires commercial equipment.
Requires commercial equipment. That is a residential solution, in my opinion.
I think so. Unless you have like one office or something.
And there are commercial systems for the ductless.
Ductless are great for
knocking them.
like patios or sun porches.
Yeah, in our industry, because we're more residential. So it's they have their place. Or a second floor that you can't run ductwork, you can't put a separate system, and like a one-to-one head in a bedroom.
Even garages.
Garages. I'm putting one in my
putting
garage.
one in mine.
So I'm putting one in my garage, just to let you know. Only because I don't want to put a whole
hot
system.
and cold in there, too.
It's hot and cold in there.
In the winter it gets cold, and then the summer it gets hot. And my bathroom is right above my garage. So
yeah, they do have their Ray place.
Yeah.
An entire church, I don't think so.
No.
A house for like a couple bedrooms, yeah. I think it's not bad. But they, like I said, the cost comparison, they get really close when you cost the price of the Unico versus the ductless and a conventional.
Very comparable.
Very comparable. So,
but I think my favorite is probably the Unico.
Yeah, I think they
and I don't think a lot of people know about them.
No, they don't. And a lot of people want a conventional system, but nowadays with the labor, how much labor costs for everybody, it's really, you look at what's cost effective too, and it's long-term solution. And the nice thing about the Unico is, I know it'll outlast a mini split.
100%.
100%.
I call them mini splits like throwaways.
Yeah, once they start breaking,
it's tough to fix them.
Get parts for them, things like that. Where these Unicos,
and they're complicated devices.
They are.
Too.
They're very, very advanced technology with the inverter compressors. I think they're good. I think they have good technology. They're efficient too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. They're efficient. Not as efficient as a split system or Unico, as in the electricity wise, but the Unico systems too are easier for standard swap out. So once you run all the duct work, and 10, 15 years, whatever, 20 years down the road, you need to replace your outdoor unit and your indoor unit. They're very simple to replace. And they literally snap together. It's
the
like
Unicos.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the module comes with a blower motor, and in an outdoor unit. So when you do got to replace them, it's pretty simple, and you can reuse all that ductwork once it's in there.
And they got different trim kits for the registers.
Oh yeah,
they're cool.
Real quick, common thing about right now, we're going through a heat wave. It's pretty warm in the north.
It is hotter here than it is in Florida right now.
I believe that. It's warm. So what we've been getting is a lot of air conditioning calls, and a lot of common problems are plugged filters, plugged batteries. So real quick, if you guys come across your air conditioner's not working and your temperature's rising in your house, first thing really to do is to shut off the unit. Shut it off at the thermostat. Don't let it, it could be iced up. Let it sit for a couple hours. And then item 2 is change your filter. That's the bare minimum information.
And hose your condenser down.
Yep. And you could take a hose to your outdoor unit like we talked previously while it's not running. And a lot of calls are simple as a filter. It really is. Or batteries in your thermostat.
I had 3 of them yesterday.
I had so many of them this week for a filter. Not to shoot us in the foot, but it's the littlest things. If it stops working, but that's where coming in, getting it serviced before the heat happens is the best thing to do.
Yeah, now's the time that they're going to break because they're running 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
We're working really hard.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think, my air conditioner runs a lot. Well, when it's this hot and humid, they're going to run all day, all night.
All day and all night.
They won't shut off.
When it's 90 degrees out, yeah, they're not going to stop.
Yeah, so. Anything else you want to talk about?
No. We sell all 3. If anybody's interested, give us a call. We do free estimates.
Yep, free estimates on whatever you want. Like I said, it's good options for people with boilers or electric heat, things like that. That's it. Well, thanks for watching.
That was Through the Pipeline, episode 3. I'm Jeremy Reeves.
And I'm Ricky Reeves.
And I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you.